We were a little annoyed that the Astros didn't show up against the Yankees, the last place team over the weekend. But hey, they were just saving themselves for the battle for the silver boot, which is now ours. We have acquired the silver boot for the 7th straight year. No one on the Astros knows what the silver boot is. That was kind of funny to see after the game. Julia Morales interviewing Mauricio Dubon. Hey, what do you think about the silver boot? And he was like, what? She just moved on and started to ask another question. But that was a beautiful way to win the season series against Texas, to get the tiebreaker for the AL West against Texas. 13-6, they blew out South Oklahoma and that absolutely hopeless bullpen. As soon as the Rangers starter, Heaney, was out of the game, you knew Texas was bleeped. You knew they were completely screwed. Did you know in the 17 games leading up to yesterday, the Rangers bullpen had a 5.93 ERA in the 17 games before? Methinks that has risen just a little bit. Brian McDonald in for Sean Mapes behind the glass.
But they added Aroldis Chapman. Everything's fixed now.
It's really funny, Brian, that they added him. And
you know, the guy the Astros have victimized forever?
Yeah. I hate to baseball splain because a lot of people think I know nothing about baseball. I also hate to Houston splain because a lot of people know that I'm an outsider. But Aroldis Chapman is our little buddy, right?
That's not the B word I was going to use, but that's probably more FCC friendly.
This is now, Brian, going forward, a family friendly show. It is.
When did that change get made?
We're doing it today.
Branding.
We're going to see how we like it, and we're going to see if it makes us more money. Because as Brian learned the last time I did this show, I will do anything for money. 713-780-3776. Serious offers only. Challenges, maybe I'll accept them, including possibly OnlyFans. However, let's bring it back because this was better than OnlyFans last night. You got this for free. Well, actually, you probably have to pay a cable company or Fubo TV way too much money to watch the actual game last night. But the Rangers looked like absolute frauds in this game. And I don't know if it's too early to drop an F-bomb on them, but it's just hard to take them seriously. Because you just got to get through the starting pitching. Even if Corey Seager's a really good hitter, even if they have some bats in that lineup that give you issues like Adolis Garcia, you still just have to get through the 4th or 5th inning against Texas. And you're probably going to be fine. And the Astros have done a great job this season of scoring in late innings. Yesterday, they took it to another level. That was a wacky game. It was a fun afternoon game. And there were moments where you were a little concerned, maybe because of JP France not looking like himself, or at least what we hope that he can be. We hope that he can continue to be. He gave up 3 home runs. You didn't like seeing Ryan Stanek go down because it means you get the bullpen a little bit more taxed. But you look at this Texas team, and it's really just a matter of can you outscore them? And with the way that the offense has been hitting of late, except for that one series. Well, check that, except for those 2 series, the one against Seattle and the one against New York. They've been on fire.
Remember, what was it? Was it Nathaniel Lowe of the Rangers back in like May said that the AL West ran through Arlington? You remember that comment from back? I think it was May. How he was he had his big boy shoes on and he was puffing his chest out and talking about where the Rangers were up like I think 4 games in May and talking about how the AL West ran through Arlington.
Why?
How's he feeling today?
Brian, we are burdened with great knowledge as people who have followed the greatest franchise in recent baseball history. You just know more about the sport, even if you are an idiot like myself. And one of the things that I would encourage people from Texas, the Rangers fans, I guess check that, South Oklahoma, let's be honest, or from Seattle, is that the season is long. And yeah, the regular season matchups don't necessarily matter that much with the Astros taking it officially against Texas. I say that because Seattle has a very, 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 very lopsided lead on the Astros, 8-2 in the matchups between those two teams. But don't do this stuff early. Whether it's the Letterman jacket stuff, it's the Run DMC stuff. BMAC found the audio. this was Nathaniel Lowe saying that the AL West ran through Arlington a couple of weeks ago, or months ago, I'm guessing, right? In May, April, something like that. Here he is.
It's funny you say that because I got on a Zoom call too early in spring training and I watched a certain host at the network talk about how it's Houston's division again and they're going to win the division by 15 games. And I was like, gosh, that kind of pisses me off. And I don't want to say anything about it because we haven't even played a single spring training practice yet. But this team's for real. Like the starting staff is for real. There are guys in the bullpen that are competitors. There are guys that'll get big outs for us. There's 120 games left or whatever it is, but the division is ours to lose. You can't sleep on the Rangers, man. We're not in contention like coming down the stretch. I would be very, very surprised and say something has gone horribly wrong.
Well, they are in contention. Gosh, that pisses me off. Well, I mean, it's the reality. It's 7 years in a row, man. I mean, this is the expectation every single year is that the Astros are going to win this thing.
Rangers fans growing up that have never known their team to win a silver boot. That's a sad world that they live in.
Very true, Brian McDonald. And
these little 5-year-olds running around in Arlington, they've never seen the Rangers win a silver boot.
There's lots of Astros who don't know what the silver boot is. I'm imagining it's the same thing for the Rangers, but hey, it is the battle for the silver boot. I guess, guys, as the Astros took down the Rangers yesterday 13-6, that team meetings work. Now, I guess they're going about it a different way. You can't have the same team meeting again too close together. So you get swept by the Mariners at home. You got to have a hard, smack them around kind of meeting, right? You're essentially getting the bad cop treatment from our fearless leader, Martin Maldonado. He's like grabbing the Joker in the interrogation room. Where are the runs? Where are they? Why was the Diaz in the lineup? Asking questions like that. And then you do what you did after this Yankees series, which, you know what they did this time? Good cop approach. They did it the nice way. They said that per Yainer Diaz, the veteran stood up and talked and said how bad series are going to happen. But there's still baseball to play. Just stay positive every series, every game. Publicly, Astros players on Sunday emphasized the need to, quote, turn the page, end quote, on an uninspiring weekend. Okay, so one team meeting, turn the page. Following up a team meeting where we got to take things a little bit more seriously. Now, you can't use up all your team meetings by the end of the year.
Well, you can't go in there and yell at them every day, right? You got to mix it up. Some players respond to a kick in the ass. Some respond to a pat on the back.
You're right.
I'm guessing you were the player in high school that responded to a kick in the ass.
I actually did, yeah.
Yeah, that checked that was my assumption for you. Your personality type.
I had a coach who wasn't my positional coach at all. Like he had no jurisdiction over me, and yet he was so good at getting more out of me. He would always call me out. And I remember the one time I got his approval was like it was like getting the approval my dad never gave me.
Do you remember what it was that got you the approval?
Yeah, it was our spring football game. I had like 12 tackles.
Wait, who's counting?
Dad. He's like, you can play. He said you can play linebacker for me any day, and I was like, whoa, damn, that's kind of cool. And then I let him down my senior year, probably, by comparison's sake. Anyway, Paul Galaccio, ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. No one cares about that. I do know there's a lot of people that still are mad at Dusty Baker, and they believe that a game like yesterday kind of compounds the need to move on from Dusty Baker after the season. And you know what? Again, I'm not pushing back. I just don't have the same energy to do it every single day. But someone's got to zag and be the pro Dusty guy, right? Like there's a market for all opinions, all thoughts when it comes to sports talk radio. Someone's got to be the Dusty guy. So, yeah, okay. You didn't see a lot of Chas McCormick over the weekend. But maybe Dusty Baker knew better to rest his best players for the real series. Huh? Like it's a bye week, this series against the New York Yankees over the weekend. McCormick, 3 plate appearances this weekend against the Yankees. He was on base 3 times yesterday. Maybe that rest helped Chas McCormick out. Ever think about that?
Maybe we found out Dusty really cares about the silver boot. That's what happened.
You're right. You're right, B-Mac. This is like resting.
Totally checks out.
It's like resting starters at the end of the NFL regular season. You're trying to make sure that guys are 100% healthy. Also, okay, well, maybe you wanted to see Yainer Diaz on Sunday. If Yainer Diaz didn't have the day off on Sunday, would he have been able to beat that throw in the fifth? Would he have been able to hustle? Maybe that gave him that just extra little bit, not sitting on his knees for a whole game, that extra little bit to get that extra inch. Would he have been able to hit that home run the way that he did without that day off? I don't know. Load management for Yainer Diaz seemed like it worked yesterday. All you Dusty Baker haters, I mean, is this not a bad argument? Is this not a bad argument?
Dusty's clearly playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
100% B-Mac. Look, remember when Chas McCormick got caught stealing second? Well, guess what? Astros wouldn't have hit those back-to-back home runs right after Chas McCormick got caught stealing on the strike him out, throw him out, with Yainer Diaz striking out and Chas McCormick getting gunned down. Because if anyone's watched The Butterfly Effect starring Ashton Kutcher and Amy Smart, what's up, Amy Smart? If you've seen that movie, you would know that, like, there was a totally different world where the Astros lose that game without Chas McCormick getting thrown out at second base. Again, Dusty's playing like galaxy chess, not even four-dimensional. Is there a fifth dimension? Dusty Baker found it.
He found it, yeah.
Another one today. Altuve sends one high and deep to center field. Back goes Taveras. That one's gone. Back-to-back jacks for the second time today. Dubon and Altuve do it twice.
He just silver booted that out of here.
Julia Morales was the color commentary yesterday because Jeff Blum, I guess, got sick. You also heard from Steve Sparks, Waka Flocka Bucks on the Twitch, twitch.tv/ESPN975 says Sparky on the Astros broadcast was so much better than usual. He did have a funny one-liner. We'll play it a little bit later in the show. So, Astros beat the Texas Rangers yesterday 13-6. We'll see if they actually get an appearance from any starting pitching today. And if Framber Valdez does not lose his mind, because remember the last time against the Rangers, he had a temper tantrum on the mound. I am still a bit frustrated with the starting pitching and the low standards we now have for it. I told you after that quote, bounce back, end quote, by JP France after getting shelled by Boston. Last week, I was like, well, I mean, it was okay. It was an okay start. It wasn't anything to really talk home about. It was just a routine day at the office. And yesterday, he gave up 3 home runs. And again, this is a matter of bullpen versus bullpen. The Astros just have a better bullpen than that of Texas. You get to the bullpen against Texas, the game is over. I mean, the Rangers put in positional players for their bullpen towards the very end, and the positional players were more effective.
Yeah, positional player got Yordan Alvarez out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they should consider an alternative approach to the remainder of this series. Look, I have whined about this a lot. I hate how much I pay for Fubo TV so I can stream sports. It's ridiculously priced. I suppose there's really no perfect solution when it comes to streaming, cutting the cord, and being able to watch the Astros. But one of the small perks about subscribing to Fubo TV is that you also get access to the Texas Rangers broadcast. And the last time that we played clips from this broadcast, we highlighted just how whiny they can get. Well, imagine how bad or good for us they sound when a game escalates and escalates quickly. Let's start off with Mauricio Dubon and Jose Altuve going back-to-back early in this game.
It wasn't even close.
That was huge.
Now this pitch hit well. Down the left field line, gone. And Mauricio Dubon on the first pitch just tied the game.
They were just roasting.
And Altuve takes a big swing. High fly deep to left. And for the first time today, the Astros have the lead.
I can just hear the glumness in his voice. They had been making fun of Chas McCormick for getting gunned down at second base. And legitimately mid-thought, that's when Dubon took it deep. And then to follow it up, Jose Altuve took it deep. It's one of those things where you see that, and if you're the Rangers, broadcast team. You know how bad the bullpen is. You are just waiting for the inevitable call to the bullpen by Bruce Bochy, who's probably going to be a little bit irate with the, build up to that.
I mean, how do you possibly spin Dubon hitting 2 home runs off your team? I mean, the guy had, 6 home runs all year?
But he's bigger. He's bigger this offseason. This is what happens.
He worked out with Yorda.
He acquired mass. Yes, he did. They were doing a little, what was that game that they're also playing? They play like backgammon or something.
I have no idea.
They play dominoes and they bulk
that
up.
helped him at the plate, apparently?
Yeah, it's the new GTL. It's D, B, I don't know, Z. Jose Abreu was at the plate in the next inning. The bases are loaded for the Texas Rangers. And the Rangers broadcast was witness to a absolutely horrible throw that did not even make it to home plate.
The payoff pitch. And it bounces up there. Ball 4, walks in the go-ahead run.
It was at
fry an egg on the back of Bochy's neck right now.
You could fry an egg on the back of Bochy's neck right now. It was at this point in the broadcast where they started to just get very quiet when bad things happen. And there's these long, pregnant pauses, which allowed me to cackle and cackle quite loudly. A couple of people are commenting, sounded like a home crowd, Minute Maid North. Yeah. I got to say, more people showed up, Astros fans, in Arlington than Astros fans showed up for the series against the Yankees this past weekend.
I know, listening on the radio to the part of the game when Dubon and Altuve go back-to-back for the second time, there was a definite home crowd pop. And they even mentioned it on the broadcast that there was more orange than blue and red in the stadium at that time.
100% B-Mac.
It was like a college football game, like at the Cotton Bowl, when either Oklahoma or Texas is up 50, and you get that aerial shot, and just half of the stadium is empty.
You just said that because you wanted to bring up that Texas blew out Oklahoma last time? Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, we are talking about South Oklahoma. I read through you, B-Mac, UUT lover. Okay, so that inning began to unravel for Texas after walking Jose Abreu with the bases loaded. It gets better. Again, the Rangers broadcast as their world slowly crumbled around them.
And a bouncer up the middle. Oh, and that one gets through. Holy moly. 2-run score, and the wheels are coming off. Good gravy.
Good gravy.
You got a holy moly and a good gravy in the same soundbite. That can't be a sign of things going well.
I wish that they were allowed to cuss. I really do.
Oh, they would have dropped one for sure.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? That's what everyone's
Maybe
feeling.
they are also a family-friendly radio broadcast for the money.
Oh, that's true. That's true, B-Mac. Thank you for reminding me. We almost forgot. The first segment, we said that we are now a family-friendly broadcast. Anyway, this continued to get worse and worse for Texas. You thought to yourself, okay, well, they walked a guy home, and that error happened. There's no outs. But, okay, this is probably going to slow down a little bit. The Astros can't keep it up, can they?
That's hit well. And that's gone.
It just continued.
The entirety of the call is, that's hit well. It's gone.
That's all he said. That's all he said. It's great.
It felt like the audio equivalent of sad college football fans in the stadium whenever they whenever they show that on TV when the team's getting blown out, like I'm sure Clemson had last night.
Ooh, that was also delicious. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And, of course, we were not done seeing the Astros score. They were at 11 runs at that point. Now we're in the 9th inning. Mauricio Dubon's up again. No way Mauricio Dubon can go yard 2 times in a game, can he?
A 6-run 7th for Houston that spoiled the party. This one hit well. Right field. Garcia back near the wall. Leaps, and that one is gone. Dubon has homered for a second time today. I said it earlier, where would they be this year without Mauricio Dubon? May not have needed him today. This ball's hit well, out to center. That one's gone.
Wait for it.
Jose Altuve has a multi-homer game.
Here it comes.
13-5. Uncle.
Oh, boy. Uncle.
I was captivated by the crowd noise during those home runs because it sounds like they're at Minute Maid Park. I mean, the reaction to those home runs was not of a home fan base from the Rangers.
That's true. Look, I think they're also aware that they're probably not gonna win. Now, I also am not convinced that Rangers fans, exist other than our friend Tab, who I hope was not at that game because we do like Tab. We don't want Tab to suffer. But I'm not sure that Rangers fans really exist yet. I don't think that Rangers fans are going to be, and there have been some online. I've made a couple of posts. I would say the most traffic I've gotten on the TikTok this baseball season has largely been with posts that involve me talking about the Astros and Rangers. There have been some, but I think for the most part, they are all going to keep quiet until, or unless, more likely unless given their bullpen, the Rangers somehow advance further than the Astros in the playoffs. I don't think we're going to hear much out of them until that happens. And with the way that they are playing of late, the bullpen is worse than you thought it even was at the trade deadline. The post-Letterman jacket era of Texas Rangers baseball, statistically, BMAC, not good. You actually put together the numbers for the Rangers. And for the Mariners, it's still early since they put on the Run DMC jerseys, but they're 1-3 since then. You told me this yesterday. 4-11 since donning the Letterman jackets?
I went back and found the tweet when they had the picture, and they said they had debuted it the day before being August 19th. Since that point, they're 4-11.
4-11 since then. We told you.
And that's 4-11 with adding Scherzer, with adding Jordan Montgomery, with adding Aroldis Chapman. I mean,
we told you that you don't do the Letterman jacket thing. We know.
Learn from Sean Cody's mistake.
We wore that. We still wear it. That is the greatest football team in Houston Texans history.
Oh, without question.
They were 11-1, and then they pooped their pants down the stretch